Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Wednesday evening. As usual, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, sports, and so much more. I'm your host, Glenora Shipura. Starting us off in the news tonight, the Ministry of Gender Equality and Child Welfare launched its Namibia Child Care and Protection Statistics Report 2014 to 2023. The report showcases a decade of national data from 14 regions covering child care programs, including adoption, foster care, child justice, psychosocial support, violence against children, vulnerable witness services, residential care, and child state grants. Let's have a look.
Vulnerability, prevention, response, and access to services. Its value lies not only in the numbers it presents, but in the interventions provided to children in Namibia. This data will help us move from assumption to understanding, from isolated intervention to coordinated planning, and from good intention to measurable impact. Across the world and within our own communities, child protection challenges require strong, rights-based and multi-sectoral responses. Evidence from child protection work consistently shows that children are best served when families are supported, communities are engaged, and institutions work together to prevent harm and respond quickly when protection concerns arise. We therefore recognize and appreciate all those who contributed to the preparation of this report. Most importantly, we acknowledge the children and families whose experiences are reflected in this report. This report should therefore challenge all of us to ask not only what the data tells us, but what we will do differently because of it. As we launch this report, ladies and gentlemen, I urge all stakeholders to use its findings to inform policy, planning, budgeting, advocacy, service delivery, and community engagement. Let us all strengthen coordination, invest in prevention, improve reporting and referral systems, and ensure that every child who needs care and protection can access timely, appropriate, and compassionate support. Let this launch mark the beginning of a deeper collaboration and sustained action. May the evidence presented today guide decisions that protect children from violence, abuse, neglect.
And our next story, Ipinge pledges funds for hospital upgrades. Community members in the Oshana region turned up in numbers to clear and debush the area behind Oshakati Intermediate Hospital. The cleanup follows a commitment made by Oshana Governor Hofni Ipinge during a tour of the hospital last week. Ipinge said he will use his fund to get individuals to clear the area to make the hospital more visible and to build a shelter for waiting pregnant mothers who currently do not have one at the facility. In our next story, Namfisa backs ICD-10 claims requirement under fund rules. Network Media Hub NMH spoke to Ombili informal settlement resident George Kahure in Oshwarongo today, who said residents are often left without water for up to 2 or 3 months when communal taps break down. Kahure said residents have repeatedly reported the problem to the Oshwarongo municipality, but the issue remains unresolved as they are routinely told that officials will attend to the repairs. He added that some residents are forced to walk long distances to collect water, while those with private household taps often have no choice but to share their water with neighbors. In our next story, pressure on wildlife relocation industry. Rising transport, helicopter and foreign exchange costs are placing growing pressure on the wildlife relocation industry, with some farmers becoming hesitant to buy game. According to Dirk Dupreez, owner of Dupreez Wild, speaking to Network Media Hub, NMH at the family-run business a few kilometers outside Oshuarongo, Dupreez said operating costs have increased by between 30% and 40%, forcing prices higher. He said the business, which has been operating since 1983, continues to relocate wildlife across the country, restock protected areas and supply game to new reserves despite the mounting financial pressures. Let's have a look.
Always have an influence on our business. I mean, transport prices have increased by about 30-40% for us. So definitely helicopter costs have risen, just not fuel but parts. As well as with helicopters, we've got a lot of foreign exchange where we purchase parts, and that plays a tremendous role in the price of what a helicopter runs on. So definitely it has a big impact on us, a negative impact, because all our prices have to go up. And you can see in Namibia that, yeah, I think with the forecast of a dry year being forecast for next year, farmers are skeptical to purchase animals this year, and definitely has a negative impact on us. So yeah, so we've got about a 8,000 hectare farm with 18 different species on there. So currently we've got a couple of sable just in front of our office, but yeah, this is one of our breeding herds.
That concludes our top stories. On the other side of these, we get into your community talk.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
First up in Community Talk, Oshuarongo Secondary School targets academic revival. Oshuarongo Secondary School is determined to reclaim its place amongst the country's top performing schools. Acting Principal Ray Semwa Kathona told Network Media Hub NMH today, pushing back against concerns raised by some parents over declining academic standards. Kathona said teachers remain committed to improving results through afternoon and weekend classes, while describing parents' concerns as understandable given the school's history of strong performance. His remarks follow interviews with parents who had transferred their children to other schools, citing concerns over the school's recent academic performance.
But the expectations are high, as you said, that Oshuarongo Secondary School has been one of the top performing schools in the country for years, being in the top 10 and all these things. but it was unfortunate that we couldn't achieve that. But we are quite positive, looking forward that the school will be up there again. No, the parents in their rightful mind, I think, were fair to make their own judgment on based on how they feel. I mean, one cannot really, should I say, what should I say? One cannot say they're wrong. It's their personal feeling, but I was that meeting, I think it took place beginning of the year. Mostly it was the grade 10s that were concerned. That's how high the expectations are for Chwareng Secondary School. I mean, other schools are concerned or are concerned about the grade 11, 12 results, but already from us here, even the grade 8 parents also get concerned. But parents have their own opinion at the end of the day, and I mean, the school is trying by all means to make sure that the kids' academic performance is number one. It has been the case as always. Teachers here and there, for those parents that are still involved, they can attest that there are extra classes taking place in the afternoons, and kids are coming sometimes on weekends and all these things. So there are a lot of programs that are lined up.
Mariental residents petition municipality over Extension 5 relocation. Residents of Mariental handed over a petition to the Mariental municipality demanding urgent action over concerns surrounding the Extension 5 relocation process, municipal service delivery and economic development. The residents calls for the immediate precautionary suspension of town planning officials allegedly involved in the Extension 5 relocation process, pending an independent investigation. Residents allege that the relocation of people from the Donkerhoek area to Extension 5 has been characterized by a lack of transparency, alleged preferential allocation of municipal urban and abuse of official authority, intimidation and unequal treatment of applicants. They are calling for an independent forensic investigation and a complete audit of all land allocations made under the relocation program. The petitioners are also demanding that the municipality publish the criteria used to allocate the urban beneficiary list and relevant council resolutions. The residents further want protection for applicants and whistleblowers against intimidation or victimization, with disciplinary or legal action taken if misconduct or criminal conduct is established. The petition was addressed to the mayor, the chairperson of the management committee, and the chief executive officer of the Mariental municipality. That concludes Community Talk. Up next, economic news.
From the heart of the continent to its farthest horizons, Africa awakens with stories that shape our world. This is Africa Good Morning, your window into the pulse of a dynamic continent. I'm Ashwin Berry, here to deliver the latest news, sharp insights, and the vibrant spirit of Africa. Every weekday, we dive into the headlines, uncover untold stories, and spotlight the people driving change. Plus, stay ahead with daily weather forecasts and economic updates to navigate your week with confidence. With direct coverage from our correspondents on the ground, we bring you in-depth access to Africa's beating heart. Mondays, Mike Situla reports from Zambia.
Africa, good morning.
Tuesdays, Talent Gore covers Zimbabwe. Wednesdays, Rorisang Mokojwe brings Botswana's news. Dumela, Rorisang.
Thank you very much, Ashwin, for having me right here on Africa Good Morning. It is always a pleasure to be here with you all.
Thursdays, Ari Hogarth tackles South Africa.
Yes, very good morning, Ashwin and Anna. Yes, a good atmosphere.
And Fridays, we focus on Namibia's bold narratives. From thriving cities to rugged plains, our team is there, capturing the rhythm of a continent on the rise. Africa Good Morning is your essential start. News, weather, economics, and more.
In economic news, only 2.2% of Namibian adults aged 15 and older earn more than 11,000 Namibian dollars a month, while 54.1% earn 2,000 Namibian dollars or less, highlighting persistent income inequality and financial pressure. The findings are contained in the 2025 Namibia Financial Inclusion Survey released by the Namibia Statistics Agency, NSA. The survey found that 63% of adults struggle to meet their financial commitments, while only 25.4% can often make their income last until the next payment. Despite these challenges, financial inclusion has improved from 76% in 2017 to 86% in 2025, with 1.56 million adults financially included. However, rural residents, men, young adults, and people with lower levels of education remain more vulnerable to financial exclusion. Government grants are the main source of income for 20.9% of the population. Savings participation has declined, while borrowing has increased, mainly to pay for basic needs such as food, education, and transport. The survey also found that only 32.6% of adults have insurance, while rising living costs remain the biggest financial shock affecting households. The NSA called for stronger financial planning, improved household resilience, and greater access to financial services for vulnerable groups. Let's take a look at the financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 22.02, against the euro at 18.78, against the US dollar at 16.47, 2 Namibian dollars and 43 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold, platinum, and Brent crude oil went up, while copper went down. Brent crude oil trading at 2.51%, going for $94 per barrel. Up next, international news.
This week's decisions, today's debates, tomorrow's consequences. The agenda puts the spotlight on Namibia's most pressing issues and the people driving them. From headline makers to groundbreakers, we bring you the voices and perspectives at the center of the national conversation. One story, one interview, the depth you won't find anywhere else. That is The Agenda. Catch The Agenda on 102.com and on ntv.my.na.
In international news, nearly 1,000 people have died from Ebola in DR Congo. Nearly 1,000 people have died from Ebola in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, the country's health ministry says. DRC's National Institute of Public Health said on Wednesday that 999 deaths have been confirmed since the outbreak of the Bundibugyo strain of the virus began in May. Now, according to the World Health Organization, 2 people have also died from the virus in neighboring Uganda. DRC's health ministry said that as of Monday, 2,473 cases had been recorded in the latest outbreak. At least 737 patients are currently in isolation and hospitals, it added. The DRC outbreak was declared on May 15th after several deaths were recorded in the northeastern province of Ituri, where cases remain concentrated. Several cases linked to the DRC's outbreak were then reported in Uganda. This outbreak has killed more people at a quicker rate than any Ebola outbreak on record, including the 2013-2016 outbreak that is considered the worst on record, with over 11,000 deaths out of at least 28,000 cases. That outbreak took about 8 months to reach 1,000 deaths. Last week, WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus warned that the current outbreak had over the past month expanded faster than any previous outbreaks of the virus. Cases of Ebola, which spread through close contact and infected bodily fluids, have also been found in other Congolese provinces outside of Ituri. That concludes international news. Let's take a look at the weather predictions for tomorrow. The capital city can expect a minimum of 9 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions. The cattle country can expect a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius, also with sunny weather conditions. Oranjemund can expect a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 15 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions, while Hendy's Bay can expect a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions. We'll now go for a short break before we return with the sports news.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
When it comes to the world of sports, I only trust one man to keep me updated, and that is Ari Hohat. Here he is with the sports news.
Everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with cycling news first. The Tour de France that continues. It was stage 16. It was a time trial and a good win for Remco Evenepoel. He is from Belgium and he won the time trial in 32 minutes and 19 seconds. And in second place was the leader at the moment in the Tour. It is Tadej Pogačar. He came in 28 seconds after Remco Evenepoel. In the general classifications, it is still Tadej Pogačar that is leading the Tour at the moment. He's got a combined time after 16 stages of 56 hours, 14 minutes and 18 seconds, and then followed in second place by Remco Evenepoel of Belgium. That is 4 minutes and 32 seconds behind Tadej Pogačar at the moment. In third position is Isaac Del Toro. He's from Mexico. He is 6 minutes and 51 seconds behind the leader, Tadej Pogačar. Then in rugby news, it is Springbok rugby coach Rassie Erasmus that announced a 43-man squad, and that will assemble this coming Sunday in Johannesburg. That's in preparation for the test on the 8th of August against Argentina, and also for the test series that's coming up against the All Blacks. And it is some notable players that's coming back from injury. Some to mention is Siya Kolisi, also Eben Etzebeth, then Lode Jager, also Franco Mostert, and Sasha van Beek and Komazulu. All of them will be available to play against Argentina. In soccer news, it is the English Premier League that will start again on the 21st of August, and many clubs started to announce new signings and new players that will join them in the new season. One of them, Chelsea, have made England midfielder Morgan Rogers the richest or the most expensive British player in English Premier League history. That is after signing him for £117 million, and that is from Aston Villa, and that adds up to $156 million US. Rogers had a good Soccer World Cup for England in America, and he started 3 games and also made 4 substitute appearances. Chelsea also made an offer to Bournemouth for midfielder Alex Scott.
And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in and catching up on the latest news with Sunset News. From me, Glenn Rashipura, until next time.